Chapter 2. My Grandmother's Quilt. Life is like a quilt comprised of unique experiences stitched together to create a beautiful masterpiece. I wish I could speak these words of hope and possibility to my younger abused self and tell her, Leonie, your life will be like a quilt. Would she believe me? No, I don't think so. Her life experience with its ups and downs is like a nagging and unwanted piece of string hanging from the backside of a quilt. Thread is one of the most critical tools used to stitch garments, join pieces of scraps, and mend broken bodies back together. I'll tell her that the thread is the intricate woven details of our lives, stories, and history, the glue that bonds us together. If I had a few minutes with my younger self, I would tell my scared younger Leonie that the nagging string we dislike and want to pull represents all the soul-crushing experiences we have endured and overcome, coupled with outside influences that threatened our purpose, our bond, and our being. But what happens when you pull the string? I tell her the integrity of our garments, our lives are at risk of unraveling. Who knew a tiny, insignificant thread could be so crucial to sustaining the fabric of our lives? Let me share a story about my grandmother's quilt. When I was a child, growing up in Jamaica, the West Indies, my grandmother taught me how to quilt little things. She would begin with a pile of mismatched scraps and threads and an image in her mind of the beauty she could make. Her vision allowed her to think of the outcome she wanted to achieve as she reworked what others regarded as no longer helpful. Grandmother would harvest lessons learned from prior works of art, and she would use her scissors to trim and cut away and, release unsupportive patterns and fabrics that didn't support the vision of the design she had in mind. As she skillfully stitched the scraps together, she enlisted help from my siblings and me to bring her vision to life. She adopted a new mindset of teaching her young, opinionated grandchildren, how to take discarded material and use whatever thread we could find for designing a masterpiece. I questioned both my grandmother's skill and her judgment because she had nothing more than a messy pile of bits of cloth. But when she finished and flipped the beautiful masterpiece of the quilt over, the exquisite design amazed me. That experience taught me that as women, we could use scraps left over from trauma or crises to achieve intentional transformation and the positive outcomes we deserve. One of the most important lessons that my grandmother taught me is that, like a thread and a needle in a quilter's hands, so are we in God's hands. If we are willing to heal, God will weave together the good, the bad, and the in-between of our life experiences into who we are becoming in Him. We can choose to view our life the same way. I will share the struggles, successes, and memorable stories that stay with us in life so you know it is safe to bring all of your experiences. The thread and memories you have stored up belong right here among all the images I will share. Each collection is torn out from the timeless treasure of something more significant, each separated from the others. The thread of intention can join them as you act on an idea. Beautiful, brave sister, you are God's masterpiece. I hope reading this book will help you to rise from trauma or crises, break free from some of your painful experiences, and reclaim your life. I want you to know how to use the power of your intentionality to help you choose the positive outcomes you want to achieve when you are in situations that damage your soul. I want you to know how to release old patterns, adapt to new mindsets, and trust again. I want you to know how to surround yourself with dependable allies. Brave woman, your bright and happy future will begin, and you will realize it is possible to be whole once more. Come with me. Let's dive into the thread system.